Here's a little story that must be told. Here's a little story that must be told.
This one particular day when I came home from school, I usually go home and practice, and I was playing music a little bit too loud, and my moms came and banged on the door, boom, 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 boom. If you don't cut that music down, you're gonna have to cut it off. So while she was in the doorway, screaming at me, I was still holding the record and rubbing the record back and forth. When she left, I was like, that's a pretty good idea. So when she left, I experimented with it, a couple of months, a couple of weeks, different records. And then when I was ready, we gave a party, and that's when I first introduced the scratch.
When I was at Prairie View, A&M, this cat named R.P. Cola, who brought 2 copies of 5 Minutes of Funk by Houdini and Friends, and he just started cutting up the beginning of the 5 Minutes of Funk. And he had the little felt pads and everything. Now, I'd already seen hip-hop being done, like on, there'd been footage like that show Graffiti Rock, but to see somebody in Texas actually do it in my face at school was like, I was like, oh man, this dude is actually doing what I've seen on TV and stuff, and he's actually making it come to light at Texas. And I stepped to him and was like, yo, man, you gotta show me how to do that.
The scratching thing, that's always the first thing that usually grabs somebody. How the hell are they doing that, So it's like, that was me. How are they doing that? So I grabbed my mom's, record, Joan Baez record, and I'm scratching it on the turntable, tearing the shit up out of it, and she's not home, so thank God, but she comes home and there's grooves all beat to shit and the record's all busted.
My dad used to hide his needles in these attaché cases that my mom had, and he would hide the needles there and lock them up, and my brother would pick the lock and take the needles out and stuff like that and set them up on the turntables and call his friends over, and his friends would just bring massive records, like crates of records and stuff like that, and they just make tapes, they make all kind of mixtapes with his friends rhyming and my brother DJing, cutting up beats and stuff like that, and that was my first exposure to the whole art of DJing and hip-hop.
A lot of people get rap and hip-hop mixed up. It's 2 totally different things. When you say rap, you say an MC and a DJ. When you say hip-hop, you say graffiti, you say breakdancing, you say DJs, you say MCs, the way you dress, the way you talk, all the elements into one. That's hip-hop.
This is the famous Bronx River Houses, the home of hip-hop. We used to say the home of God, and also Little Vietnam. It was crazy at one time, with even the police when they come in. We had a lot of gang violence happening at the time. Also a lot of social awareness that was also happening at the time. So that's why we started Universal Zulu Nation, trying to take a lot of gang affiliations and turn it to something positive.
Bambaataa was one of the heads of the Black Spades. He was the division leader. And it was taken from a concept of Bambaataa went to Africa when he was leaving the Spades, and he seen how the black people were living over there, and he adapted his culture. He said, when I go back, I'm gonna start the Zulu Nation.
We started organizing a lot of the different people in the street, who had different dance groups, B-boys, B-girls, as well as rappers and graffiti artists all together to make the whole culture.
It evolved from us beating each other up to like breakdancers. I used to break dance myself back before Crazy Legs, before all them cats. Y'all got the moves from me, you know it.
Let's dance. Let's dance to the drummer's beat. Let's dance. Let's dance to the drummer's beat.
I guess it was 73, and a lot of these DJs, they were basically playing, you know, kind of like a disco club type of thing, you know. A lot of stuff that was being played on the radio, a lot of popular stuff. And out of all of that came this rebel, Kool Herc. He wouldn't play that main album cut. He would play a break from a song inside the album, so it was like beats and rhythms and, you know what I'm saying, his style was, he was like God.
The breakbeat is that part that you look for in a record that let your God self just get wild. And then as soon as that breakbeat leaves, you're saying like, it's only a minute, it's only 30 seconds, you know, you want to hear some more. So that's where the hip-hop DJs came in and started making that beat, that breakbeat, that stripped down funk, expand longer and longer for you could just get crazier and crazier and crazier on the dance floor.
So that inspired me right there. I was like, okay, I got this 15-piece drum set upstairs that I took since I was 8 years old, building up, you know what I'm saying? Now I gotta make room for some turntables. One day I'm upstairs, Bam's turntables dropped, broke. So Aziz, who was one of the original members of the Zulu Nation, he's like, yo man, Bam needs your turntables. Before he can get the words out of his mouth, I ran in the room, packed the turntables up. I was at the door like this. Where Bam at?
Brought his turntables down and let him get on, and he started rocking the house, and you know, then came one of our little proteges in the family. We had Jazzy J, Red Alert, Grand Wizard Theodore, DST. All of them had their different characteristics that just blew up the turntable.
The DJ was the source of the energy because it was his responsibility to find the music, the selection of music, what type of rhythms that the people would feel in the audience. And there actually were no MCs, it was just the DJ.
We would never get on the mic and start saying a rhyme. The only time we would pick up the microphone is when we would say, if he on the green truck outside, please move it, or Jerry, your mother's at the door.
And it was a DJ who had to give the rights of passage to the MC to even pick up a mic at his set.
I was walking down the street just humming to the beat, and everybody else was doing the freak. Then they asked me about another MC. I said a wimp and a wham. I don't give a damn. Look like a jelly, but they call it a jam. You know?
The MCs were just more or less there to get the people involved. Like we would create the crowd participations, you know, all the hoes, say ho, you know, anything that had to do with the crowd was where the MC, the master of the ceremony, got involved.
The DJ was the backbone, and we were the arms, the legs, and everything else to make him colorful.
And they say the big DJ race, Theodore is running in first place. From the left to the right, he's out of sight. From the right to the left, he is the deaf. From the front to the back, he's not the right. He got his back, so get down.
If a person wants to get an understanding of how hip-hop was back then, the best thing is to look at Wild Style because, you know, that was how it was done. You're not going to get to see Grandmaster Flash, you know, cutting in his kitchen. That wasn't like part of, you know, somebody wrote a skit or something and said, well, this is what we're going to do. We're going to have him put his turntables in the kitchen. No, they were in the kitchen.